What's up, YouTube? Right there. So, I thought I'd do a Jim Davidson reaction because I've been going through a bit of a slump really on my channel. I haven't had many new subscribers, and I think that's because people don't appreciate my genius. Or it could be because I'm doing the wrong stuff, content as they call it these days. Anyway, I thought I'd react to this. This is Jim Davidson. He's destroying a PC BBC presenter, and I thought that's quite interesting because I used to absolutely believe in PC, years ago. And because I guess I thought that it was sort of good to look after people who are vulnerable and that sort of thing. But obviously, as time's gone by, I've realised that it's a lot of fucking bullshit, isn't it? So because all it's really doing is masking the I should have said masking there. I'm going to drop this accent, but all it's doing is it's masking the ideas of principally middle class, privileged, I hate to say that word, people who can pretend that they don't hate black people or people on the dole, or the lower classes, or people in wheelchairs, because they will use the right words and never mention these things. So there you go. There might be a bit of echo on this because my headphones are broken, and I haven't got around to buying any new ones yet. But anyway, let's dive literally right in.
To apologise. When the BBC apologise for the black and white minstrel show every time they go on air, I'll apologise too.
But you said earlier that you regret Chalky White, which was that crude Jamaican stereotype.
I can't keep apologising.
But you regret, but you
Who
don't.
do I apologise to? Ask Max Clifford that. He knows everything. Who do I apologise to? People I've upset. Well, write to me the people I've upset, and I'll write back. But don't put stupid things on the internet saying, let's chop his head off.
Oh, I see. So you
can't have mental people.
You're happy to apologise to individuals who've been offended,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's pointless issuing a broad apology. Okay.
Well, a broad apology. Okay, I'll apologise now to anybody in the world I've upset. Done. Let's move on. Now, you see, that's how ridiculous that is, isn't it? I think you apologise to people by your actions of today, not of your actions that were condoned and allowed, and actually, saying, come on, do this, it's funnier. That was then, this is now. Let's all be judged by our actions, not about what we did and what was acceptable before. I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to say.
And earlier you were saying that you
don't
hate...
want to move away from that, do you?
No, but earlier I remember you saying to me that you hate all fat women on the dole.
I didn't hate them, I just said they're good things to have a go at, and it doesn't really bother me. I don't have a conscience saying that an overweight woman is a target of comedy. No, not really. Eat less.
And if one of those texters now and said, I'm really offended by what you said, would you apologise?
No, not really.
Why
I'd
not?
just say eat less, because that wouldn't really bother me.
Okay. I'm an overweight woman on job seekers allowance and I have a baby. Recently made redundant as a director from a 100k salary job. Comparing me to Jeremy Kyle attendees or stereotyping people who can swallow pride and can survive a fall is a sad moment of truth about Jim's cringe comedy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Oh, so you are sorry about it?
I'm sorry to that one, yeah.
Why sorry to that one?
Well, it's just something to say. I don't mean it. Shouldn't eat as much.
Okay.
That's horrible, isn't it? Well,
why say sorry and then say I don't mean it? What's the point of that?
Well, because that's what you want me to... Would it be better if you used to say sorry? I just said it.
I
No,
didn't ask you
it
to say
wouldn't be
sorry.
better.
I just read out the lady's text.
Yeah. That's real, isn't it? Of course it is.
You think it's made up?
Oh, yeah. She should have thrown a few other ones in as well. Got a bit of a limp and ginger hair. all them other things that people have a go at. Yeah, of course they're all made up. If I've offended that woman, I am sorry about it, but it's not my fault you're out of work, and it's not my fault you're overweight, and it's not my fault. It's comedy. Get a life and get your shoulders back.
Yep, absolutely. So, brilliant. I hate talking. I'm fed up of talking about this in a way, but I mean, there is a line. I hate racists. Racists offend me, but that doesn't. The difference is, I wouldn't say you shouldn't talk to them or discuss things with them, or maybe even try and change their mind. Let them talk to me. They can try and change my mind. They won't, I'm sure they'd say the same thing. But to essentially ban someone from society, and well, you're not banning them from society, but to ban someone who makes their living performing because they've made a joke that upsets some people is absolutely insane. And yeah, I mean, you can apologise to people, but I'll tell you this story because it's awful. It's awful. So many years ago, I was about 20 probably, and I was in a pub with my mates, and in those days I used to smoke menthol cigarettes. God knows why. They were horrible. To try and mask the taste while you got the nicotine, I suppose. So I made a bad joke, and it wasn't really funny, but I said to one of my friends, oh, you know, I smoke menthol cigarettes because I may get cancer, but at least it'll be a nice tasting sort of minty cancer. So about a minute went by, and this guy, who I can't remember if he was with our group, I don't think he was, or he just sort of joined in the conversation, suddenly took me to task and said, oh, my mother died of cancer, and you know, that joke was really, you know, you can't make jokes like that. And so I started off, I was actually a nurse at the time, so I'd looked after people with cancer. And I said, all right, look, sorry, you know, sorry about your mother, and I'm sorry I made a joke, but, you know, I have experience of it, and yeah, you know, it was probably offensive to you. I can understand why. But the guy would not stop, and actually, it's a brilliant, it is a brilliant example of this, you know. And the funny thing was, I ended up just feeling really angry with him. Because it's like, look, I made a joke. It wasn't a very funny joke anyway, and it offended you, and I understand it offended you. I've apologised, and I've said, you know, I wouldn't maybe make that joke again because, you know, I might have some other person being upset with me. But he had this refusal to accept my apology. He just kept going on and on, and every few minutes I'd say something, he'd stop, and then, but that joke, yeah, but that was really bad. It's like, just fuck off, all right? Sorry, but tough. And another point I just want to very briefly make before the end of this is, you know, as I said, I'm offended by racists. I'm offended by religion. Now, I wouldn't go into a church and sit there and then stand up at the end of the service and say, you should all be ashamed of yourself. I'm completely offended by the fact that you believe in God, because I don't believe in God and I think it's wrong. Why would you do that? I just don't go into churches. There's lots of things that offend me, but so what? So there you go, and it's comedy, as Jim said there, and to be honest, I'm completely with him. I mean, I remember Chalky and his Chalky jokes, and it was in the 70s, probably, yeah, you know, late 70s, something like that, maybe early 80s, and it was accepted then. And actually, I used to laugh at it. You know, I was probably like 14 years old or something, and but I wasn't a racist, and I didn't laugh because I hated black people. It just seemed like a funny stereotype, same as if somebody did a joke about a Welsh guy with a funny accent or whatever. So what? You know, my accent is a bit posh, a bit Essex, so it'd be quite normal for somebody from another part of the country, say from up north, to joke about my accent and say, "Oh, you talk in a ridiculous way." I wouldn't be offended by it. It's just they find it funny because it's something different to what they normally do. So there you go. Thank you, and yeah, don't nobody go nowhere.